Hello everyone, this is Val in my little Maine cottage. This is my junk journal rememberings. It's 6 and 8 inches in length, it's 5.5 inches high, and it's 2.5 inches thick. So it's a little bit of a big boy here. I'll show you the top, the side, the bottom. And okay, oh, in the back too. Back is probably my favorite. This is old vintage cloth that I used. Not this, I used new cloth for the binding, but this was my favorite piece of vintage cloth. This junk journal has 204 pages. I guess I got a wee bit carried away. But anyway, let's open it up. And of course, some of this is antique and some of this I've made. So just bits and pieces here. But this pocket is cloth. Here's some antique trim, Tim Holtz paper, and just different little bits and bobs in here. I'm going to try not to take too much time, I hope. But anyway, this is antique. Just little things. I cannot handle empty pockets. I guess that's my problem. But this is old book page with some lace and just different little things I clipped into there. Of course, scrapbook paper. This is ledger paper, 1913. I have a lot of ledgers and I love to incorporate them. This is antique paper that I coffee dyed, along with scrapbook paper that I coffee dyed. Just some drawing paper. This is a copy of an antique botanical print that I have, more ledger. Of course, lace and trims, and we just have to have lace and trims, scrapbook paper, ledger, coffee dyed with more botanical images on it. So this is kind of a writing journal. I wanted to give a lot of room to someone who likes to journal or draw or doodle or whatever. And but I love to incorporate the vintage elements. This is from probably a Harper's Magazine from the late 1800s, and of course Tim Holtz paper here. More little images and a belly band, old stamp. This is not an old image here, but it looks like it. And this is an old image from probably Godey's book, Lady's book. Old music paper, vintage botanical, pattern paper. So you kind of get an idea. I'm going to kind of push through this pretty quickly, but you kind of get an idea. There's a lot of room to write and just bits and bobs. Now this I learned from Sharon Hoth, how to make a wax dyed paper, or not wax dyed. Yeah, it is coffee dyed, but how to put a wax treatment on paper. That's fun to do. Really fun. There's so much to learn, and it just is amazing to me what people can come up with and do. This is a little antique photograph. What is this? 1915. And old antique postcard. Just some trims, a little ribbon trim, and book page that from Made a Tuck and stuff like that. Anyway, you're getting the idea. I make my own little tape. And this is, what is the date on this? 1913. And here's some avocado dyed paper under here. This I learned, this is an old piece, but I just revamped it with some dried flowers course, die cuts. Yeah, lots and lots of writing room. I'm going to kind of speed through this. More pockets made out of old book page. Just going to try to speed through this pretty quick. I love to put cloth collage on paper. Who doesn't love to do that? Well, I love it. This is taken everything on this, except of course for the manila. And this piece is antique. And so anyway, and this is taken from one of my vintage, or actually antique pieces. That's a copy. And Tim Holtz, this is a vellum pocket with a little envelope, and little bits in there. Copy paste, stuff that I've copied. This is such a huge journal. Stamp album paper, coffee dyed paper, vintage botanical page from Harper's Monthly Magazine, late 1800s. And let's see, of course, scrapbook paper and a vintage book page illustration. More Tim Holtz, more little bits and bobs. Vintage map. More a copy of antique illustration. Logarithms. Gotta have logarithms in your book. Avocado dyed paper. This is antique cloth that I put on the edge here. This is a copy on coffee dyed paper, but this is 1800s cloth that I incorporated. And then going back, more just different little things. Well, you get the idea anyway. This is a little envelope with a tuck in the back, which I'll take that out. And another tuck spot or pocket. And here's some, just some cloth with lots more extra writing bits and bobs here. And this is the belly band pocket. I'm going to cover up. This is a tintype of my husband and myself, covering up my son. But it makes a nice writing board in the back. So I'm going to just stick that back there. And that is it for that little bad boy. It's got a little bit of weight to it, but I hope you enjoyed that.